I eat a lot of eggs, and to support my egg eating, I have chickens. My chickens are all cooped and never been out of their coops. But this was brought to my attention, so that's why I'm here this evening. I know we got some roosters in town. I don't have any roosters, don't want any of those loud, annoying, all mine are hens. I don't want them to be taken out, so I don't have my chickens. My son shows 4-H also, so we do have prize winning hens in my herd too. So.
Well, yeah, and that's also been tabled. If you look at the latest, all that stuff been tabled. We're gonna take another look at that before they change an ordinance prohibiting. Okay? Okay, so.
I don't want them either. They're too loud.
So somebody else has the roof.
Yeah. They're down from my house. I can hear them off in the far other end of town, but I don't know exactly where they're at.
I had a citizen call me about the rabbit issue, and they said they're raising a
Yeah, one of those organizations.
I mean, sorry. But they were worried that if you can't let out, the children can't do their projects for the organization, so that's going to be an issue.
No, he had already.
I know we were here 2 weeks ago at your meeting, and we talked about the fact that we were going to come to you in 2 weeks, that you had received the Healthy Eldon Bicycle and Pedestrian Plan, that Debbie had given you guys that night, and that we were going to come back to you in 2 weeks for approval. We are not on the agenda tonight. We had asked Debbie, and she said that based on the responses from the aldermen, that you'd like to have some more time with that. And so I had asked Debbie, you know, if you guys had gotten any feedback from Debbie and Larry had attended all of our meetings on the pedestrian master plan. And so I just said, hey, you guys haven't you given them all the information? I was surprised to hear that it came up that the master plan was a surprise to y'all. So I just wanted to step back, and I know we talked a little bit about it last time, but I wanted to step back and take my 5 minutes and just talk to you a little bit about the timeline, because this has been happening for a long time now. You know that in 2013 and 18, we were awarded the Healthy Schools and Healthy Communities grant. So that's from 2013, we've been working on it, and that we have been working on the plan as a goal of that. In 2014, you guys got the Rock Island Master Plan, which was, of course, at no cost to the city. It was over $100,000 worth of improvements into the Rock Island Park. And again, no cost to the city. Thank you for the Healthy Grants, Healthy Communities grants. And then also, so as part of the plan, we've had multiple organizations come. We've had multiple studies done. In October 15, I know that many of you guys attended the Walkable Livable Community. Debbie, I know that you were there. That was one of your first things as the...
That was actually before I worked for the city. I just attended.
She came as a reporter. Okay. So, yeah, you guys were well aware of this. You've seen it. You knew that they came. You've seen this plan. This has been given to you all. Then again, in March of 2016, this is a combination of a lot of things that we have done. Is the plan is that you guys have the City of Eldon pedestrian crosswalk study, which part of that is the hawk light that you guys have been approved for through the TAP grant funding. Again, that's all funding that's done at no cost to the city that we've gotten grant funding for, and that's part of the TAP grant, yes, or TEEP grant, I'm sorry. Yes, that there are expenses that go with it, but we've written grants for that, and then we've also, on the grant match portion of it, we've been able to leverage some of the other grants that we have gotten for the community. So, and then in 2016, we did the depot and the trailhead plan, again, at no cost to the city. Yes, it was a fee for the architecture of the plan, but we got donations from the chamber and from
Healthy Schools,
Healthy Schools and Healthy Communities and the Community Foundation. And then in 2017, you guys approved the Complete Streets policy, which automatically gave us 10 points for any of the grants that we applied for. This master plan, like we talked about last time, would be another 10 points. That means we're 20 points ahead on any grant application that we do. You guys have it on your agenda tonight for the sidewalk grant from South School to the Rock Island Park, which
Sign the
again, is
contract
at
and
no
let the
cost. No cost, yeah, to approve whoever you're gonna have as the vendor. This was 2 years in the making for that grant. And, you know, again, no cost. The school district had to pick up the $5,000 for part of the grant match, as did Michelle's grant. So those are some of the things that we've done. In October of 2017, the Rock Island Trail Committee actually approved the proposal to go with Alta Planning to do this plan. Now, we've been 4 months in the making of this plan. On May the 29th, the community met with Alta at the Eldon School District. We met with the mayor, the city administrator, the chief of police was there, Miller County Health was there, we had students, we had citizens, Lake Ozark Council of Local Governments, Bob Lynch was there.
From MoDOT.
From MoDOT. Remember, you guys said at my table, we mapped out the quadrants, we talked about the difficulties in travel, what was heavily traveled, what areas, and what was the most convenient path that we needed to do to commute, or
To have safe routes to our community, through our community.
right. And so then on June the 26th, again, I know that some of the aldermen were there, we had a follow-up meeting with them and talked about what we needed to do. Again, we talked about proposed mapping of the community and what we needed for quadrant areas of travel and what the problem areas were to come in, to combine into the total plan of the LD school, or I'm sorry, Eldon
Pedestrian plan.
Eldon bicycle and pedestrian plan. So this has been in the making since 2013. So I was surprised, and I'm sorry that last board meeting I didn't realize that you guys had no idea that this was coming, or else I would have kind of laid out a...
Nobody said they didn't have any idea. We've had a lot going
Oh,
on.
I'm
And
sorry.
so it was asked that they
Yeah,
not,
that
because
was
nobody had
communicated to
time
me,
to make
sorry.
any comments and bring back any feedback. And so what feedback I did get was to delay it until the 25th, because we've got a pretty big project that we've been having to work through.
I also want to point out that this was identified as one of the top 5 priorities through the Lake Ozark Health Department, the Lake Ozark Hospital, the Miller County Health Department, Capital Region, when they did their health needs assessment at the Venue 55. We had the interactive meeting. It was actually number 3 out of like 30 needs in our community was safe routes for our people of our community. And that was a wide variety of people that attended that meeting, very wide variety of people. People I did not know, lots and lots and lots of people were at that meeting. And it was number 3, it was a very high priority to our citizens. They want safe routes in our community. They want to be able to walk and bike safely. So we feel like this is really important to our community, and we've been able to provide this plan at 0 cost.
Right.
For Sales is paying $27,000 for this right now out of their city budget. We've got it for absolutely nothing.
The city of Eldon got it for absolutely nothing. $22,000 was what the cost of our plan
Well,
was.
and I understand it very well, but by adopting the plan doesn't mean that we build everything in the plan.
Absolutely not.
Everybody
It's a plan.
understand that. I
It's broken
understand there's a
down.
lot of things in there.
If you want to read it, it's broken down. So for instance, if a grant comes across the table that's a $7,000 grant from MoDOT, we can go in there and look and see what can we do for $7,000. The cost
Right,
to every
absolutely.
project is broken down in there.
And
So
it's a plan. I mean, just like we mentioned last time at the Rock Island
Yeah.
Trail Committee meeting, and Debbie mentioned the project on North Street, and we said, hey, if we had a plan, we could have this plan that listed out what could be done in conjunction instead of messing up something that we already did and then come back with a project on North Street.
The only thing I want to make sure everybody understands is this. If the alderman accepts the plan and agrees to go into this, that by no means that means we committed to every deal in there. I want to make sure everybody in the community knows that and this, because some of this is going to be expensive. Now, I'm not saying we won't take that grant money and build those segments, but to just dedicate X amount of dollars out of our general budget to pay for all of it, we can't.
Absolutely.
but I'm
Okay,
saying if you're
then
going to resurface a street, why not, when you're resurfacing it, put the stripes down when you're resurfacing. It's a
Well, and
no-brainer,
I'm-
because
and
that's
I'm
in the plan.
I'm not gonna argue.
But if you
that
don't
with
have
at
a
all.
plan that tells you to do that, you don't know to do that.
But if I'm gonna resurface that street, and that's gonna be part of that bike plan and things of that nature, then I wanna make sure that maybe we need to add 2 foot on one side of the street or 2 foot on the other to obtain, Michelle, a safe area for them to do. And my question is, with a grant, it may be that we can get a grant to extend this above and beyond. And that's what I wanna make sure, just
Yeah,
because
can
everybody.
I reiterate? This plan does not obligate the city of Eldon to anything. It only lays out a plan of all the recommendations that we've received from every company that we've sat down with and had come to our community and say, what do we need? This lays out a plan. So just, I'm sure, Larry, you have a streets plan for the city, right? What street needs to be done next, and this needs to be done next. You could align it with this plan, and it's so simple instead of having, and I'm not saying that you have to do this. Some of these things are at no cost. My God, we've offered multiple times
I
to
know,
paint
I
a
know.
bike lane for free with the paint. And so I'm
Did you
just
say you
saying.
would furnish the paint? I wanna make sure.
Absolutely.
Okay.
We will furnish the paint, if that's all it takes.
So that is what we're saying. And so if there's any questions, if at any time, any of the aldermen have any questions, if you haven't gotten any of the information from Debbie or Larry that's attended the meetings, my cell phone number is on the public comments, so give me a call. Does anybody have any questions before we walk away?
I think the gentleman before explained it, that we didn't have to do this. But
Yeah.
it just put us ahead of the game for grant money.
Absolutely.
Hugely. We are in a district, when you apply for a MoDOT grant, you are in a district. And we're in a district with, for sales, Lake Ozark, Eldon. So we're the only ones that have both of these. Go ahead.
I've got a question.
Yeah.
The plan don't cost anything, right? I mean, it has a plan, right?
No, nothing at all to the
We
city.
already paid for it.
Needs to be under resolution, it's gotta be under the.
Yeah, so you'll have to approve it next time because it didn't get on this agenda, I'm sorry. But next time, we'll be here on the 25th, so if you have any other questions in the meantime, like I said, my cell phone number is on there, but if you have anything, give me a call. Because a lot of you guys have been involved in the entire process of having, walkable, livable streets come. If you've had, any of the meetings that you've attended with Alta Planning and Design, many of you have been involved in that. You know some of that. So like I said, this is not obligating the city. We're not asking for any money. It just puts us that further ahead for grant funding and gives us a plan where we know where we need to go as the Rock Island Trail Committee, so.
Yeah, I would just say, don't take our inaction today as some kind of a sign. What Larry said is true, we've had a lot of special meetings. I've got 2 meetings on Thursday, I got a meeting tonight. And so because the packet was so thick, and I've been involved in this throughout the process, I'm a supporter of it. But I think the group as a whole just wanted a little more time to get through that big packet.
And that's totally understandable. And the only reason we came tonight was to answer any questions and lay out a timeline to show you that, hey, this isn't something that just came up. We're not just saying, here you go, here's a plan. A lot of years of data and meetings that we've attended, so.
Sarah, I'd like to see, as soon as that resolution's passed, that we put together and get that part going on, was it Mill?
Mill Street.
Up Mill, up to North?
Right, because
And actually go a little bit farther north on Mill, that other block, and I'd have to look at a map, see.
And
what-
that's all laid
And it's all
out
laid
there.
out. And the
Okay, and
cost for
so, and I
Mill to
think,
North is
and
very
what we're
minimal.
talking here is primarily just stripes, isn't it?
Temporary stripes. We want to do it
Yeah.
temporary. We don't want to do anything permanent. We want to do
Because
everything
we gotta be
temporary.
flexible to make sure it's gonna work, and I
Yes,
understand.
and Alta's very adamant about everything that we do is temporary for a certain amount of time to make sure, because every community is so different. They want to make sure it's going to work in your community. So they paint bike lanes or suggest where to paint bike lanes, but it's all temporary paint until we decide after so many months that it's going to work, it's going to be used, people like it, and then we'll do it permanent.
And we
Would-
provided
Should
enough
we do, when we
education
go
for
in and we start
citizens.
doing that, should we put, says, temporary lines put in there for a 90-day study or something of that nature?
That'll be up to you guys.
And when we go in to extend the work that we want to do this, we may want to consider that.
I think that's
That's
fantastic.
a good point.
Yeah, okay. Well,
Thank you,
guys.
If we get that done, we'll set up to see where we need to go.
Perfect.
Where.